Welcome to Michelle Brown's virtual book launch event, Finding My Voice Through the Words of My Father. Please welcome your host, the self-publishing maven, Robin Devenish.
Hello, hello. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is such an exciting time. Listen, I need y'all to share this. I need you to share this information. I need you to share this book launch because this is a celebration for who? Miss Michelle Brown. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. So she has this fabulous book. Fabulous book. Fabulous book. But we're going to get into that in a minute, right? Let's bring her on first before we get into the meat of the night. We have an exciting program ready for you. So stay tuned, sit by your computer, sit by your phone, whatever you need to do. But make sure that you're sharing this and that you're tagging people, letting them know that Michelle Brown's book is out, that is launched, that is ready, that you can get your reserved copy tonight. So listen, let's bring Michelle on first. Michelle.
Hi, Robin. Yes, what an introduction. I am so happy. I am elated. I am like so happy. My book is out, y'all. It's in my hand. Look at it. It is in my hand. It feels so real. I'm excited. I want you all to really, take in this moment. We do have a good program. I have shared my chapter with my guests, a chapter with my guests, and they will be coming on to talk about their thoughts in the chapter and what they read. So I'm excited. I don't even have the words. I'm just so happy. Yes.
Well, we are excited for you, Michelle, because I know firsthand that this book is going to help so many people, that it's going to help so many fathers and daughters to mend their relationships. And even if someone's father is not here anymore, it will give that person a chance to, walk through a journey of forgiveness. So this is going to be so great. I'm so excited.
Yes, it is. Me too. Me too.
So do you have any? Oh, she's gone. She's gone. Okay, so listen, that's all right. She's gone for now, but she will absolutely, positively be back. Okay, so we are going to keep this program running. I'm so excited to announce Shay Hunter. She's the co-founder of Hunter Ministries, and her dad, Shedrick Miller, a community activist. Hello, how are you this evening?
Hello everyone, how you doing?
Awesome. So listen, I heard that y'all read chapter 1.
We did.
Yes,
we
okay.
did.
So before we get into the meat of that, I have a question for both of you. What would you say is one of the challenges of being a daughter and a challenge of being a father?
Go ahead,
You go first,
Shania.
I'll go first. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the only challenges is just being the opposite sex, I guess.
Okay.
Him being a man, me being a woman. There's some things that we may not fully understand. We take things from our fathers, right? We have our looks. I look like my dad, all these different things. But sometimes it becomes challenging because no matter how much I look like you, act like you, I'm still different. I'm still connected to a whole nother bloodline. So I think that the challenge between it both is that we share bloodlines from our mother and our father. And we just, we don't know, everything about each other. I mean, it's difficult to say because we are a lot alike, but it still brings difficulties just being a woman and a man, I would say.
Yes. What would you say, Mr. Miller?
I would think acceptance. Me and Chanel, we talk a lot. And she is direct. She's upfront. She doesn't hold her tongue much. So we go back and forth. So the part about is as I'm an old school guy, and Chanel needs to say what she needs to say. So sometimes it's hard when she's being boisterous and direct, and just hold your tongue, just to listen, and be quiet, because we have this old way about ourselves. You're not going to talk to me this way. You're not going to say this. And it's not that she's being disrespectful or rude, because she's never that way. It's just being quiet, and not having your piece to say. That's basically what it is. Yes.
Yes. So I know that was like a off the cuff, like, why would she ask something like that? But the reason why I asked that, and I think that this was such a genius idea to have a father and his daughter come on and just give some feedback about the book. Not only that, but there's are millions of fathers and daughters around the world, of course we know, right? And so I think that it's a great opportunity, especially when we have family together, for there to be a moment of transparency. But before we get into chapter 1, I have one more question. What advice would you give a daughter, and what advice would you give a father in terms of relating to his daughter?
So am I giving advice
you're going to give advice to a daughter relating to her father, and sir, you're going to give advice to a father relating to his daughter.
I would say be open-minded. Really embody forgiveness and allow yourself to give a grace to a person, seeing them as human. Like, sometimes we see our parents as like superheroes, and we see them all put together, but not knowing the things that they had to go through before they became your mother, your father. So it's just like, we have to give that moment for them to breathe, to heal from their past, and to come forward from what they've been through. So I really would just like walk in grace, walk in forgiveness, and you'll be able to see and be able to build a positive relationship with you and your father by really just giving that grace, walking in forgiveness, and being able to build something positive with them. Because, they were kids before they were adults. They went through stuff just like we went through. So sometimes it's just like we could become, it sound a little selfish when we're just like, I need, but this person needs too. They're human just like you. So if I'm talking to the daughters, I would just say walk in forgiveness and give grace.
Thank you. Mr. Miller.
That sounds good. Yes, I would say to be open-minded as well, and be acceptant, because we really don't know what kind of pain that we create in our daughters at the time. I think it's very important that you should allow them to be angry. And if they have to voice themselves, they have to speak with anger. It's okay, because it's part of the process of healing. And through her healing, you begin to heal as well. So I would just say, just be open-minded and not be slow to anger for the things they may say.
Yes, thank you so much for that. So now let's talk about chapter 1. You had the honor of seeing it way before everyone else. So starting with you, Shay, what captured you about chapter 1?
The moment that caught me the most was the process of her birth, right? It was just so the energy behind it. I mean, just feeling the heartbeat of the mother, the heartbeat of the father, like the love that was coming through his words. Like, I'm so excited for you to come to be, just like coming to it. And kind of like, we all have these things that we wish that we had. And he really asked for, like, I want a daughter, a beautiful daughter. And he got that. So when he got what he wanted, it's like anybody reading anything, you want to feel the author. You want to feel the characters, right? You want to feel what they were feeling. And we were able to feel that. I mean, I was just watching it, and like it was reading it, but it felt like I was watching a movie. Like literally, like watching a movie. I'm watching it play out. I was just so excited, and it's close to home for me because it was the same for me and my father. He went through those things in the past. So me being able to see it, like, if he wrote his words on paper, this is what my daddy would have said. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about it in person, of course, but it's just like, this is what it would have looked like on paper. This is coming alive off these pages. I mean, it just came alive. The poetry, the love, even though there was some troubling times in the family and in a relationship, it's just like you still can feel the love. Like, that was my favorite part. Like, just still feeling the love on the pages, still feeling the commitment from the father, still like you suffering with an addiction, but you still push forward to show that love to your daughter despite of. I had to write this down even in my sickness. I had to write this down even in whatever I was going through. I still wrote it down, so one day you'll be able to experience just how much I love you. So I took it personally, even for myself. Like, I don't know where my father was when he was dealing with his own thing. So these are the words that his heart said to me, you know, this is what he was thinking when he was going through that. I mean, I was emotional. I'm in the doctor's office trying to hold myself together. I was reading it. I was like, I just need to be in a place where I could just take it all in. And I was just so excited. Like, I mean, I'm so proud of my friend for just pushing and completing this, because it was needed. Because if it was a help to me, I know that it would be a help to so many other girls that were in this situation or situations like it. We still be able, you know what? I don't need to sit up here angry. I don't need to sit up here in bitterness. I need to talk to this man. I need to reach out to him. I need to know what peace to me. That I need to know that he loved me like that. What did he go through? Like, it's like, I mean, I'm excited. Don't get me, because I'll be up here talking to you all the minutes. I'm excited.
You got me fired up. I'm
excited. I went through the process with her. You know, she read some lines to me, but it's seeing it all come together just in that first chapter. I'm like, I can't wait to get my book. I already pre-ordered my book. Like, I already pre-ordered it because I'm like, I need chapter 2. I need all of them. I need everything so that I can be able to see this through the end. It's electrifying. It's a page turner. Like, you get so excited to see how this relationship that might have had a little bumpy roads reconciles and is filled with so much love. So, I mean, get the book, because I got mine. So y'all got to go and get y'all pre-order, because I got mine already.
I love it. I love it. Mr. Miller, what did you get from chapter 1?
I mean, what can I say behind it? My God. You know, when I found it, because I couldn't locate it for a while. And when I located it, it made me tear up, because it's like the book was about part of my life and how I felt and the mistakes I made, the way I felt as though I abandoned my daughter in that time, how I would say I would stop doing something, but I would do it again because I wasn't dealing with my pain. I medicated it. And the I'm gonna jump around a little bit. The part about how the mother and the father met, it made a lot of sense to me, because it's sort of how I met Shania's mother, and the love that was shared between both of them, and how they created this wonderful child. And I remember when Shania was a baby, it's just so beautiful. And we was at church, and one of the proudest moments was I was able to put her on my shoulder, so that the people behind me can see how beautiful she is. And I was so proud of it. So it brought back a lot of memories, a lot of pain, good laughter, different types of feelings. I like the part where in the book where she spoke about how she wasn't able to, in the beginning, to allow her dad to come in, to accept, well, maybe his way of sending the poems, to express how he felt and how he wanted forgiveness from her. I dealt with the same thing with Shania. I had, as I was said earlier, I had to learn to accept my responsibility and the pain that I created, which was very hard for me, because during your addiction days, you always find a way to put it on someone else. And even though I thought in my heart that I was through, me and Shania, we made up, we're great. That book made me realize that there was some more work to be done. It just doesn't stop there. It's a continuous going thing that goes on. And I gotta have it. I read it I didn't get to the poems. I got to the poems, but basically I wasn't able to read them. But it made me more hungry for more. I want to read this book. I want to purchase this book. I think this book is going to bring forth deliverance to a lot of men and daughters. I think the way she put the book together, how she was able to express her feelings was very important. She didn't she didn't hold back anything. I think it's going to bring forth a lot of healing to young people, mothers and fathers and sons, and also mothers and sons as well. So I'm definitely going to get it. I'm going to alarm a lot of my friends about this book. I'm going to talk to my pastor about it as well. See if he can get a lot of congregations to purchase the book. I'm excited about it as well. I'm hungry for it. I want to know the next chapter. That's as much as I have right now.
That is awesome. That is
Get
awesome.
that book. It's very good. Get that book.
Listen.
I want to read the next chapter. I want to read the next chapters.
Yes.
No, but God bless. It's good.
I don't want to rub it in, but I read the whole book. But
oh, really? Oh, there you go. See, I got to be behind you then. I got to read mine too. Shanae, you're gonna show me. You're gonna give me the information so I can purchase the book. Okay. You know, I'm not computer savvy like she is, so I'm gonna need her help.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So listen, y'all heard it here, and we have more. We have more interviews. Finding My Voice Through the Words of My Father, written by Michelle Brown. Can we bring Michelle on for a quick moment? Hey, Michelle.
Hi. Oh my goodness. Y'all was about to have me cry back here. I'm trying to get it together.
My God. It was awesome. And I ministered to men. And that book would be very good to use as a vocal point, as a point of reference to them. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be purchasing your book. It's very good. And I don't like reading. I don't like to read. But that book got me open. I want to read. I want the next chapters. Thank you for sharing your life with us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys really taking time to come and do this. The reason why I really wanted you two together is because I wanted to bring that father-daughter experience of someone that walked through forgiveness. Like, I know you guys didn't hit on the nail with your own relationship, but you too have a story of walking through forgiveness. So before I let you go, I really want you to kind of like hit on that just a quick minute of your experience of walking through forgiveness. If you could say a couple of quick things of what that experience and not confrontation, but what that was like.
I was filled with anger, a lot like you, right? I had a whole bunch of unanswered questions. I felt like, why did you, leave? Where are you? I was looking for my voice like you, who is this person that they say I look like? Like, who is this person that they say that's my twin, that's your twin? And I'm like, I have a twin in this world, but I don't know him like that. Where is he? So after building up that relationship, I'll say we went through the back and forth for a while. But when I turned 23 or 24, I had my daughter. And when I had her, when I was pregnant with her is when our relationship grew the strongest. So we was already building. But by the time I was pregnant with her, he showed me a different side of him that I've never seen before. Like I was to the point where I was just like, I don't even know who this person is. Like, this is the person that my mother gleams about. This side of him is what she must have fell in love with, because I was going through it. I carried my child. I had to move back to home. So I wanted to be near family. And I came home to be near family. And when I had my daughter, he was there. I mean, just taking my shoe off of me, like just putting my shoes on my feet, feeding me. I used to get dressed out of my house, go to his house, and I used to be there from the morning all the way to the evening. So those moments that I missed out as a child, I gained it while I was carrying my own child. So in that moment for me, that's where it did it for me. Like I came at breakfast time, we ate breakfast. He fed me oatmeal. He gave me a big t-shirt so I was comfortable. Then we ate lunch, and then I ate dinner, and then he sent me home in a cab. So those moments that I wanted as a little girl, it just kind of got crammed in those 9 months, but it was what I really needed to become the mother that I needed to be. I didn't want to raise her in pain. So I needed to heal from something that was a burden for me for a long time. So it started from there. So when I got married, I married a man that's just like my father. Like, we went through this thing and walking with forgiveness and moving forward, and it taught me so much, and I can't change it. Like, I don't just mention him as father, I mention him as my best friend. Like, that's my go-to person. When I speak to Michelle, I'm like, my best friend calling me, like, I gotta talk to my best friend. That's my father. I get excited when I see his name. So going through that angry, bitter feeling to now being able to have him as a friend, as a father, as a person that I could depend on for everything, as including taking my shoes off and helping me out of them heels that I can't wear no more on Sunday morning, and putting flats on my feet. I wouldn't change it for the world. And I'm so glad that I let go of my anger and my bitterness before he left, like before he left this earth. Like, we all got a time, but I was like, you know what, like they say, you give me my roses when I'm alive, so I was able to get that relationship with him before he went, so I can remember that forever. So
you can be real quick, Mr. Miller. I'm sorry.
Yes, I through my relationship with Shanae, I realized that I didn't have a clue about being a father. I didn't have great role models as as well as that. Shanair gave me the ability to realize that I can't be forgiven. You know, it took her opening up, allowing me to come back in to her life, and me having the opportunity to put on her shoes and cook dinner for her and breakfast and all those things. It made me feel that I'm worth something. You know, I needed her to allow me back and to feel that, you know what, I'm not a bad dad. I'm a good dad, you know, because I have a couple of the children. And when Shanair began to come in my life again, I got married again. And that was sort of a conflict because I'm her dad. And now this other woman is stepping in, and it's sort of got in the way of us growing together. So I didn't know how to deal with that either. So going through those things, getting married, having another family on the side, she felt like she was pushed aside. And I know for a fact that I didn't do anything to make that better. Shanair is a loving, strong woman that been through a lot of different things, but she has a big heart. And she tells it like it is. So you don't miss, she's not going to allow you to miss anything. She's going to not allow you to get away with anything. She will tell you when you're doing well. She'll pray for you when she think you need help. I thank God for a daughter like her because Shanair sounds a lot like, I think her name is Michelle. You seem strong and you have a forgiving heart. I don't think I would have gotten as far as I've gotten today, but first by the grace of God. But having a young daughter like Shanair, I thank God for her. I think she's beautiful. I think she raised our granddaughter with the best of her ability. She's a great wife. She elevated in her ministry. I'm part of that. I can call on the phone and talk about anything with her. She is just like an open-minded person. She always have great something nice to say to you to help you through whatever part of the day whatever you're going through that day. So my main thing with Shanair is she showed me that I can be forgiven, and the fact that I wasn't the best dad, but I wasn't the worst either. You understand? So I thank God for my daughter. She means the world to me. And I want her to know that I am sorry that I hurt you in the times that I did. I didn't know better, but I tell you right now, as long as I live, I will do everything I need to do. And I can't take away all that pain that I created inside of you. But you know what? By the grace of God, he's teaching me more how to be a better man of God so I can be a better father to you and the rest of your siblings. So thank you for forgiving me. Truly, thank you.
Wow.
Before I start tearing up, Lord Jesus. Oh my God. God is so
Robin,
good.
it's
Oh
all
my
yours,
God, he's
Robin.
so good.
I can't even really say anything.
He is so good. Thank you, Jesus.
You know what? I'm just so grateful to God. God is so awesome.
Ain't he? Ain't he? Isn't he?
God is just so awesome, and I just love how he just shows up. Like how
Yes, he
God
does.
just shows up, and you know, we have a program, and he will interrupt the program, and so and you know what you know what, so many people needed to experience that moment that we all just had and we all just witnessed. We all needed to see that. We all, and for me, and I'm like Michelle, my father is no longer here, but I needed to see that. I needed to see that. So God bless the both of you. Thank you so much for
Thank you for having me.
For sharing the chapter, for sharing your heart, for being transparent, for just lending yourself to come here and just be so open. I'm really at a loss for words, but I am at this moment. So
Praise God for everything.
thank you so much, Mr. Miller. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Hunter. We so appreciate it. And like they said, y'all, make sure that you go and get this book. I need you to type in the comments, congratulations, Michelle. I need for someone to put the link in the comments on where you can reserve your copy, because we need to help some people. And even if you don't have this, you didn't go through this situation, it's important that you purchase the book if you know someone who has. If you know someone who has lost their father, if you know someone that may have a rocky relationship with their dad, this is a book, this is a tool for them, right? And so we want you to not, don't be selfish, right? Don't be selfish. Listen, purchase more than one, reserve more than one, because it can help so many people, so many women, so many fathers. You heard Mr. Miller himself. He said he's going to share it with his church. He's going to see if, the church can support and purchase this book. So y'all need to do the same. Y'all need to do the same. So I need somebody to drop the link in the comments in terms of where this book can be purchased. I need y'all to type in there, congratulations, Michelle. If you know Michelle yourself personally, you need to say, I love you, Michelle. I support you, Michelle, because being an author is not easy. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to give of yourself, and especially takes a lot when you are sharing something so personal about your life with the world. But the purpose for it is to help people, to help them to be set free, to help them to be delivered. So listen, y'all need to start reserving those copies, 2 and 3 of them. Come on now, get up off that money. Y'all got some money. Come on. It's tax time, stimulus time, all that other stuff time. Some people got paid on the 15th. Some people get paid tomorrow, the 30th. Come on, y'all, get up off the money.
Yes. You can also go to my website at michellebrown.com. You can purchase from there too.
Awesome. So we are going to go to our next guest, next person that is going to share. And her name is Deborah Smoker. She is the chairperson at Family Association of Samaritan Daytop Village.
Hi there.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you?
I am so moved by what the Hunters and Ms. Hunter and what Mr. Miller said. That was beautiful.
Yes.
And
So let me ask you a question. How do you know Michelle?
I knew her father. I knew him through Samaritan Daytop Village.
Okay.
My husband was an alcoholic, and I needed some sort of support group. And somebody recommended that I go to the Family Association at Samaritan Daytop. And Michael was one of the leaders of the group I was in. And from day one, he was there for me. He was the finished product from what Michelle has in her book. Wow. I saw the after.
Okay.
And I told Michelle this, he was one of the smartest people I ever knew. He was just smart. He was sweet. He had the best heart in the world. And Michelle seems to be just like him.
Awesome.
And I am so honored to be part of this book launch. And reading the chapter, I was crying throughout the whole thing. It was just beautiful.
From the chapter?
Pardon?
What did you take away from the chapter?
What I took away from it was the pain that the family went through, and there was still love there. I think somebody mentioned before about Michael writing about when Michelle was born and the connection that he had with her and her mother at that point too. And there was love there, and it sort of got off kilter for a while, but they were able to reconnect and find it. And knowing Michael the way I did, he would be so proud of Michelle right now. I'm sure he's beaming down in heaven with my husband, and they are both looking down and saying, good job, Michelle. It was just beautiful. And everything that's written in there is so true to life. Okay. And it just really touched me. And I'm very impressed. Michelle, this was a great job you did.
Awesome, awesome. So let me ask you this. What would you say to a daughter who is, let's just say, going through a situation and her father is dealing with addiction, or he may be, in the road of recovery. From what I understand, you're always recovering, right? You're always in recovery. But what would be some words of advice or wisdom that you would give to a daughter that may be, um, dealing with addiction with her father right now? Oh, she's frozen. She's frozen. Let's see if we could get her back. So, can we bring Miss Michelle back on?
Yes. Yeah. I was so moved by what she was saying about my dad would be proud of me. Today is my dad's birthday. He oh my goodness, I don't want to cry. But today is his birthday. And when I say this is strategically designed, like it just feels like I'm picking up where he left off in terms of, dealing with that community that struggle with addiction. And that's why I wanted Deborah to come on, because she knew my father in his sobriety, and she knew him when he was, a leader of the family association. And he was so committed to going there once a week and leading groups for family that was struggling with family members that was suffering from addiction. So to be doing this on his actual birthday is like, it just means so much to me. It's like, I can't even express in words how significant it is. It's like I'm picking up where he left off and showing people and daughters that have fathers that are struggling with addiction that there can be light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, it's going to be a bumpy road, but there can be, reconciliation and love at the end of the tunnel. Addiction don't have to necessarily take control of the situation, especially, for a father like mine. And I know that's not every situation, but for a father like mine who was fighting through his addiction to then arrive at a place of recovery, and not only to arrive at that place, but to then give back to people that's suffering or dealing with that type of issue. So it just means so much that I can tap in, because she never met me before. We met each other after my father's passing. I just had to track that program down to try to find some people that he used to work with or used to, partner with in the family association. So it's like I met her, after he passed away, and just to hear the stories, like they knew a part of him that I really didn't get to be around for so long. So when they say things and I'm like, wow, like when they say things, it's like I'm getting to know him all over again, and he's not even here anymore. Wow. So it blesses me even that much more. And that part of that too helped me heal, because I was able to see. It's one thing when somebody tells you something, but it's another thing when you have proof that they was out there doing the work. Like he was out there really living a sober life and really doing the work. And to hear what they say about him, like she said, she thinks that I got, what I have from him, like he would be. So all that stuff, just to hear that, it even warms my heart, even more. So I was just happy to have her able to come on.
Awesome. Awesome. Were we able to get her back on? Internet can be so unpredictable at times, But if not, that's okay. That's okay. We appreciate her for being here. And thank you so much for sharing that part, Michelle. Yeah. I think it's beautiful that you get to still experience him. Mm-hmm. Because people knew him, people loved him. Of course you loved him too, but like you said, you get to experience him in a way that you didn't before. Every time someone tells you a story, and that's beautiful, because that's something that other people can model after. That's something that they can do if they want to, find out certain things about their father that may not be here. A young woman who wants to find out more about her father, if possible, I would encourage, search out some people that might have known your dad, or, so that you can, get to know the person that maybe you didn't know before. So I think that's a blessing. It of course it's hurtful. You wish your parent was here, but I think that's also a blessing. And also that's God's way of showing you how much that your dad loved you, how much your dad loved you, because he went down a certain path to make things right and to, reconcile your relationship. And so I think that this is awesome. I think this is awesome. Congratulations, Michelle.
Thank you.
This book is going to help so many people. I'm saying that. So listen, y'all, I hope y'all are ordering. I hope you are reserving your copy, because this book is going to help so many people. So we are going to keep this moving, and we're going to bring on our next guest. And his name is Mr. Eric Glaude, and he's a licensed therapist.
Okay, so hello,
sir. How are you?
Oh, elated, blessed, and humbled to be a part of this program.
Awesome. How do you know Michelle?
Well, Michelle was actually referred to me about maybe 2015, 2016 by another clinician who wasn't experienced with family therapy. And there was some issues with her husband, who was having problems along with their son. They stopped treatment for a while, and it's interesting that this is what happens in treatment, that sometimes you just don't know the value of really getting into a treatment or psychotherapy process until after you leave and you kind of think or reflect on it. But it's also very important to know who the clinician is. So the clinician has to be a part of the process. So I guess she felt that I may have been the part of the process, because she called me again about 5 years later and asked to be seen. So she was again referred. Well, she was a self-referral at that time, and it was a problem with the family. I am a family therapist, so I don't want to evolve what actually was happening. That's
no. Just wanted to know how you knew Michelle. So you definitely don't have to get personal or anything like that. But you did have the opportunity.
I cannot get personal.
No, we wouldn't expect you to.
Yeah, okay.
We definitely wouldn't expect you to. Well, let me finish. But we definitely wouldn't expect you to at all. We just wanted to, because of the fact that she has different guests, we just wanted to know, how what was your relation with her. But let me ask you this. So you read chapter 1. Right?
I did.
So what are your thoughts about chapter 1?
Okay. All right. First of all, there was an introduction before chapter 1. And that introduction, as well as chapter 1, was sharing her childhood and the process, which is something that Shay and her father, Sheldon, what's his name?
Miller.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Miller. They shared some very dynamic, powerful information that usually happens in the family. And we notice usually that it's an equation: father plus mother equals child. But in her process, the most powerful thing was happening, and research dictates that, or indicates that, the things that happen before the child is even born is very significant. Then you have those first 3 trimesters where things are still happening. All of this was in love. This was in the sense of sharing, caring, and nurturing all the way through the beginning. That counted far more than anything else that happened with her, obviously. So once she got to the point where the nurturing and the caring and the consistency and the trust was initiated, it was solid, which she carried on. Now, this is a very bright young lady. And I guess you have to call it the genes that she carried through with this issue, and that the part of the father, which is my specialization. I'm writing a book now and doing doctoral research on fathers and sons, black boys in particular. I use this person as part of my research called Juwanza Kunjufu, somebody that you all should really become familiar with.
Yes.
He was doing a lot of stuff on the conspiracy or to challenge the conspiracy to destroy black boys, but he also mentioned black girls. And so the woman, which is obviously a child first, they have to be totally respected. The woman is the one that carries the child, and her mother carried her and was very, very strong and purposeful and would not take any mess from the father, as you noticed. So she got that, she embraced that, she embodies that and incorporated that same experience. So in the book, as the father was actually in a position where he was actually a laborer, but he didn't have that education, so he had to survive. And in that survival process, got into drugs, and in getting into drugs, that took him away from the family. That's typical in most poor neighborhoods. You see it. And so he was able to recover from that. And in the process of recovering, fortunately, he got into a program like Daytop, one of the best programs in the city, probably in the country. And so he was able to recover. And then we didn't hear anything. And I would like to talk to Deborah about some of his childhood. I'm sure that she knows about his childhood, because there was that part of his childhood that came out when he finally recovered and wanted to give back. So with that, I see a lot of that in Michelle, where she is trying to give back by writing a very powerful book. By the way, you cannot read this book just one time. You have to read it 2 or maybe 3 times. That's what I had to do. I had to wait a minute. I got to get this again. And then I had to go back. The introduction is powerful. And then that first chapter is built on love. Okay. Now you got to know what love is about. Some people mistake love, but love is about satisfaction and giving. And that's what was happening in that process. And that's what came out.
So I just wanted to come on. I love Dr. Glaudet. He is so devoted to my family. And the reason why I wanted him to, he said husband. Let's just do a disclaimer. I've never been married. I don't have a husband. Let's just put that out there. But I wanted to bring him on to show that when you're doing your healing, and as a woman, like I made note in my book to say that the absence of my father had me make bad decisions when it comes to relationships with men, right? So obviously, you know, based on what he touched on, and thank you, Robin, slow him down because he was getting but based on what he was touching on is a reflection. And you know, I admit that I have, you know, a therapist. I'm an advocate that you should get, you know, therapy, and there is a difference between a psychiatrist and a therapist. So, you know, he is a family therapist that's so devoted to my family. And when you doing your healing and you making decisions in relationships, whether it's with your son's father, your husband at the time, whoever it is, you need someone to come and give therapy to the whole family. So that was part of my process. You know, that may not be part of somebody else's process, but going through therapy with Dr. Glaudet was part of my process and teaching me how to be in touch with my feelings and how to navigate them in a healthy way, especially dealing with the loss of my father, dealing with the decisions I was making, dealing with how even that affect my son, you know, and his father, like all that. So, you know, he did, you know, I did seek him out the second time, and he did come in to bring a strength to the family that's allowing us to communicate in a way that's way much more healthier. And I think it only helps, thank God, you know, for God, because he is so good. You know, my spiritual, me believing in Christ along with my therapist, like that's just a dynamic duo for me. Like Christ plus therapy is just working for me. So that's why I wanted to bring him on, so that I can, show that aspect of the process, when it comes to mending those relationships with your father, or even dealing with the issues that's left from the effects of you dealing with a drug addicted father. So that's what I wanted to clear up.
Yes, just one little sidebar. My father was born on the April 29th, 1900.
Wow.
It's so ironic, and it's so dynamic that she has been able to articulate this. That's the brightness, that's the intelligence, along with the feelings. And I'm humbled and honored to be a part of that.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Listen, I am in total agreement with Jesus and therapy. Absolutely. That combination goes hand in hand. And I just think just as a people, period, us being people of color, we've gone through so much and have had so many different traumatic experiences, whether it's with parents or, by way of siblings or things that we've witnessed. And I think that we all need, someone who is, impartial, that may not even know us, where we can, unpack, and we can, work out some things and help us to, make better decisions. And so I am a big advocate for that. So thank you for sharing that, Michelle, that side as well, because I think that there's a stigma for those people, some people who believe in God, and they say that, well, I just believe God and I don't believe that I need anything extra. And I believe that God, he created therapists as well.
There you go.
He created doctors, just like he created lawyers. Those are all things that God created. And so we need to, get to a point where we're embracing all things to help us to be our best selves. And so I'm just excited about that. So thank you, sir. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you sharing and your knowledge and all your great work. And just continue helping us, sir, because we need help. We need help. Do you have any parting words?
Yes. Just give me 3 minutes. I have a son that is 31 years old. And I just want to share my motivation for getting into family treatment. My son and I were coming back from his graduation at a historically Black college down in Alabama, Alabama A&M. And when we were driving back, I said, well, son, what is, now that you have your bachelor's degree, what do you want to do? My son said, well, Daddy, I want to do my passion. I said, fine, son, what is your passion? He said, well, I want to rap, do beats, spin, and entertain. I said, what? I stood on the brakes and I said, you are out of your mind. You need psychotherapy. He looked at me and said, Daddy, I'll go into psychotherapy if you go. I said, are you sure you want to do this? He said, yeah. So we went into psychotherapy. The first day, my analyst told me, I don't want you to say a word. He talked to my son for 45 minutes. When he finished, he looked back at me and said, he needs to be in here 5 days a week. I said, oh my God, 5 days. So then we started in the therapy. We started at Saturday. This is very important. This is why I want to share this. We started therapy in 2012, and we had to be in that session at 8 a.m. every Saturday morning. He went during the day all of the week, by the way. And so on Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock, we'd have to be there on time. And when we finished in 2018, my son eventually, I saw my analyst perform, I mean, miracles really, but he performed well. And that's kind of like what happened to me. I started learning something. And after my son finished and became a nurse, and now he's making more money than me, the bum. So anyway, but now what I learned from that experience was how to be a father. And so this is what I want to share with anybody that comes past my door. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Claude.
Thank you so much. So, Michelle,
Yes.
wow. This has been awesome. This has been awesome. So, I think we need to take this awesomeness to the next level. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
So, you are going to share something from your book.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
So as you can see, oh my goodness, this is such a touching topic, right? But that's what I wanted to express. It's so many moving pieces that's happening. Like, as you can see from, the first guest, the father and daughter, Shay and her dad, how, there is hope at the end of it. Like when you walk through forgiveness, then you can see, Deborah that came on that was from my dad's treatment center, and he was leading the groups for her, as she was struggling with an alcoholic husband. Then you see that, the support group was there. Now you see the therapists that, that come in and help you deal with the feelings and deal with the anger and be able to express it in a healthy way. So this is just painting a picture that when you're, with my book is titled Finding My Voice Through the Words of My Father, right? This is just painting the picture that when you align yourself and really tap into different things, you can really find yourself or find your voice. So I'm not gonna get deep in that. Let me just share something, because I start talking about, let me share this from my book. So this is a poem that my father wrote me, and it's called Blossom. So my response was parallel to what he was saying. So this was kind of like after I, went through the forgiveness process, and now my heart is wide open. I'm at a place to receive. I'm at a place of love. I'm at a place where I'm like, wow, this is a good man. So this is his poem. He said, Blossom, you have changed many things on this planet called Earth. And the changes started the day of your birth. I could tell when you began to make people smile, receiving compliments and flattery at the age of a child. But now that you are an adult, the world is not the same. And society worldwide also view my claim. I feel successful and proud, knowing I've done my deed. And I thank God for you, my precious seed. Love, Daddy, Michael E. Brown. So this was my response. Dad, you have changed many things on this planet called Earth. And the change started that day you acknowledged my hurt. Dad, I could tell when you began to make me smile, receiving compliments and flattery as you bragged about your first grandchild. Dad, but now that I am older, the world is not the same, and society worldwide is enduring lots of pain. I feel successful and proud knowing I've done my deed. And I thank God for you, Dad, that I was chosen. That I was chosen to be your precious seed. Dad, as the sun shines and flowers bloom, my warm heart fills this room. Our story of forgiveness and reconciliation is written for the world to know. Your poetic words gave me my voice. I am ready to blossom. I am ready to grow. Yes. So that's what I wanted to share. Oh my goodness. I try not to cry. Yes.
That was beautiful, Michelle. So let me ask you this. Where do you, what is your overall goal? Like what do you want to see happen by way of this book?
My overall goal is to see fathers and daughters relationships restored. I want people to see that what worked for me was, having a relationship with Christ, allowing and acknowledging that God was a part of this all along. Like he was a part, he was right there, he was a part of setting this all up, you know, for me and my father to come together. So the goal of this book is really to see daughters and fathers, even those that lost their father or that still have their father, to see better relationships with daughters and fathers, because we may not realize it, but as women, how our father see us or how our father, you know, views us or is active, it does affect, you know, our growing up. It affects our decisions in certain ways. It affects how we look at ourselves. It affects how we receive love sometimes from men. Like, it's so many different factors. So to see a father and daughter relationship reconciled and restored, you know, and letting people know that they don't have to walk through this process alone, that there is a savior, you know, there is God that can help us go through this process. We don't have to go through it alone. So I want to bring hope. You know, I want to bring hope to the situation. I want to bring the fact that there is a grace given to us by God that can allow us to walk through this journey of really finding our voice through the pain, through the hurt, through the disappointment, through the rejection. And then I want to see the relationships mended, like restored. You know, I really want that. And I would love it to happen younger than later. You know what I mean? That's why in some of my poems in this book, I was speaking as if I was that 11-year-old girl, or as if I was that 12-year-old girl, as if I was that 15 and 16-year-old girl. You know, I was speaking, you know, in a voice in some of these poems at that age. So I had to go back and tap into how I was feeling at that age so I can put it on paper, because, you know, it's going to be little girls that's going to read this. You know what I mean? It's going to be little girls that's going to read this, as well as grown women. And I want them to be able to know that they can find, you know, their voice. So that's what I hope to bring reconciliation to father and daughter relationships. You know, my story specifically is I was struggling with a father with addiction, but your father may have not, you know, gone through addiction. Maybe he just wasn't there, you know? So I hope to bring that, you know, to the forefront and help, you know, help the father-daughter relationship.
Yes, yes. So I actually, I guess I'll say it offline. I see so much happening with this. I see so much happening with you in terms of you know, the touch, the reach, the impact, right? And so, you know, I'm honored to know you, because, you know, I want to know people that are making an impact. I want to know people that are, you know, using their life and their stories and, you know, the things that they've gone through, using them for the greater good, so that, you know, you can help someone else. And really, to be honest, that's why we were placed on this earth. We were placed on this earth to not only, you know, love God, but to love people. And so there's so many ways that we could show that love. And in your case, you're showing the love of God through writing, through helping people to heal. And so I see so many different things. You know, I see different workshops. I see, you know, even additional books. I see you being a premier voice in terms of, you know, someone who has forgiven their father and what that process is like. I see you, you know, taking women through this whole process of what that is, what that looks like, and just helping a lot of people. So I said I was going to tell you offline, but I'm telling you now. But I can't wait to see what's about to happen. And so listen, if y'all are not following her, y'all need to follow her, and you need to purchase this book. You need to reserve your copy. So go to michelleuBrown.com, 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 and get your book. Get your book, Finding My Voice Through the Words of My Father. Through the words of my father. And so I am just so excited, and I can't wait for all of these things to manifest and see what God does for you. But not only that, what God is going to do for the people that you are going to touch. And so do you have anything else you want to share with the audience?
Yes, I want to give you your flowers while you are here. Let me just tell y'all who Robin Devonish is of Pen Publish and Profit. Okay. Like, this is my book coach. Let me tell you, like, I truly believe that relationships can be divine connections, you know, with Christ. And Robin, we've been dealing with this book for like going on probably 4 years. Like, it was a thought.
Not 4 years, not four.
Was it 3? That makes 3 years.
I'll say 3.
Yes, about 3,
Yeah.
Robin.
Yeah.
So it was a thought, you know, and this is why it's important to really allow God to heal you, because it was a thought. God gave me this thought, and you know, I went to, you know, I was introduced to Robin through a mutual friend that we know, Lucinda Cross, who's a powerhouse in her own right. And Robin, you know, I went to her as my book coach, and it started out as a thought. It's like I got through all the way through to a point, and then I just got stuck and ghosted Robin. Like, I just ghosted her. I just ghosted her. So now, fast forward to the end of 2019, I contact Robin again, like begging her, like, Robin, could you please, like, let's do it again. Let's just do it again, please. And when I say, like, she received me with such grace, you know what I mean? Like, she could have been like, Michelle, like, that was a year or so ago. What happened to you? But she started the work again with me. And when I tell you, like, I don't want to cry.
Don't cry, because you're gonna make me cry, and my face looks good tonight.
I'm so thankful to God for the people that He has placed in my life. When I tell you, when you really give your life to Christ, He will place people in your life that has grace for you, you know? So to start this process over, and when I tell you, she gives so many, and it's not like she's not holding your hand, you know? She guides you through the process, and she gives you so many nuggets and so many tools that you can apply it immediately and start to do the work. And one thing I like about her, because you know, sometimes when you a believer and you save and you living for Christ, you may have a connection with somebody, or may be working, not say a connection, but they try to change who you are, you know, to appease the world. Like, Robin takes you just as you are, you know. She took, because when I first met her, I wasn't in Christ, like, I was doing my thing. So she accepted this new person, and then was able to bring this idea and still, you know, have Christ in the forefront, and didn't change what I was trying to bring to the table. She polished it. Like, she was able to polish it, and I still could stay true to myself. So if you are seeking to write a book for the first time, you have to connect with her. Like, you really have to connect with her. You have to connect with her. I'm telling you, like, you will learn so much from Robin, and she is just a gem, and I just love you so much. And I just wanted to say that live. But now that we got that, thank you, everybody. I want y'all to purchase my book. Listen, I need y'all to go and purchase this book. It will bless you. It will bless others. Like, share it, like it, you know, just purchase it. Like, it will be a blessing to you. You can go to the website. Like, God truly put His wind on this, per se. He blew on this. He put His wind on this. Like, his Holy Spirit inspired. Like, God allowed me. And this is the thing. Like, when you give your life to Christ, He don't take your gifts and talents from you. You know, He show you how to use it for impact and how to use it for His glory. So I was writing poetry back then. Some of these poems I couldn't put in this book now, because I was saying some things, you know, but God allowed me to use my same gifts and talents for impact in a way that shines light on not only who He is, but the power of what He can do when it comes to restoring and reconciling relationships. So I really need y'all to go get this book. I want y'all to follow me and stay tuned. You can join my email list. I have so many things that's going to come out of this. Stay tuned and be on the lookout. I am doing an audio book because it just makes sense. It's poetry. So I want to speak, you know, the words out, because the book is titled Finding My Voice. So I want y'all to hear my voice, and I have to put this on audio book. So that will be coming out soon. So I want y'all to stay tuned. You'll be able to get an audio book, and, you know, stuff will be out. Like, you know, God is just moving. I'm just flowing in His wind, and I'm just, you know, taking it all in. I'm just so blessed and so excited for what He's doing in my life and what He's going to use me to do for other people's life. That's all I got to say.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I am so excited. So listen, y'all, that's it. Go to michelleuBrown.com. Thank you so much for being here for the virtual book launch. Make sure you tag somebody. Make sure you share this on your page. Don't be stingy. Don't keep it all to yourself. Share it on somebody's page.
And thank you all that already purchased. They're coming in through my phone. I thank everybody that's purchasing the books. It's just like ching chinging on the phone. So I really thank you. I ask that God bless you exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask or even imagine.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So thank y'all again. We appreciate you for being here. God bless each and every one of you, your households and everything. And listen, if you want to write a book, you can do so too. So, and you know, some of y'all know that y'all have been nudged to do so. So listen, let's get these books done. Let's get these stories. Let's impact people's lives just like Michelle is doing. So Michelle, thank you so much for allowing me to be the host for this evening. I love you so, so, so very much. And God bless all of you. Good night.
Bye.